Yes. But
We're
it, it,
here.
it appears everyone's having some come to Jesus moments about what is happening with women voters. Talk to us about how Moms Rising is feeling right now. We've got less than a week until this election. Child, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about something. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm nervous. What's the attitude over there at Moms Rising?
I think the energy is high right now. There was a rally last night. 75,000 people showed up. The estimate was supposed to be
5,000.
40,000.
But
And
wait, when
so
they had to revise the permit though, when it went from like they expected it was a 20,000 permit, then a 40,000 permit, then a 60,000, I was like, look at God, like look at it, 75,000 people. That was incredible at the very
listen,
location where Donald Trump kicked off a coup.
tried to set it off gangster
Mm,
style. Exactly. And
mm,
I think that the messaging and the way that the narrative is being shaped by the campaign is very key right now in this moment. People are able to see kind of no matter where you stand, this is a moment to kind of like stand in the gap against authoritarianism, against
mm,
fascism, like making that very symbolic
mm.
moment to just to crystallize it and talk about entering the chat. I don't know if you saw Uncle Luke
Oh,
rant
girl,
yesterday.
yeah, he has had
I was
enough.
like, wait, y'all got Uncle Luke up?
Uncle Luke has had enough of the chicanery, the skullduggery.
He was
He's
like,
like,
as much as black women have supported y'all your whole life. I mean, if you know it's bad, okay,
yeah.
when folks have to re-enter the chat who are basically chilling, have moved on, are not
Mm,
like connected to what's happening in this moment to say, y'all, please don't be dumb. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Please don't
right.
do it.
And
But
being
what
dumb is
we're
a
seeing
thing.
is that the Project 2025, which I know I've been on here before to talk about it, especially in terms of how it plans to dismantle things like public education and Head
Right,
Start.
right.
Even Uncle Luke talked about that. He's like, you know who in public school? Guess
Mm,
who in public school? Your
mm.
kids are in public school. So, I think that's really key.
Yeah.
But we have been really talking to people about a section that folks is kind of flying under the radar. We
Mm.
tell people that Project 2025 will seek to ban abortion. And people are like, well, it doesn't mention banning abortion. Whenever you see the term from the right wing that says life,
Come
quote
on.
unquote,
Yep. Yep.
whether it's right to life, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's life, liberty, whatever it is, just
Mm-hmm.
understand that that always means the opposite of life.
That's right. That's right. They
Okay,
live in the
okay.
upside down. When they say up, they mean down. Like
They mean down.
they mean down.
Okay. And so when people say we want to rename the Department of Health and Human Services to the Department of Life and
Right.
promote a life agenda, y'all, that's the dog whistle right there. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need anything else. You know what right to life is. You know they're going to disavow abortion as a form of health care.
Right.
You know what that did to Amber Thurman. Like people are
Mm.
starting to say, oh, because there's codes and there's ways that things are talked about in this document that can be a little confusing at first because you'd be
Yeah.
like, Department of Life, that's great. We love life. Black Lives
Mm.
Matter.
Mm.
But when they say life, they don't mean the actual living person at the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Actual mothers that are here, and have a heartbeat. It means something else. And so we've seen people really, really waking up to this.
Mm.
The early voting records in states have been smashed since
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah. Even in New York, girl. Like,
Even
well, let me say New York
in
City. I don't know what's happening in the rest of the state. But in New York City, it has been insane to see some of these numbers.
I went on Tompkins Avenue, y'all, for folks that's here in Brooklyn, and they said all day it's been good turnout since the first day. And I went yesterday because I've been out of town. I was in Georgia. But that is just something you've never seen before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we see this turnout. We're optimistic, but we cannot let our foot off the gas.
Not a bit. Not a bit. And I do feel as though sometimes folks get a little complacent. That's one of the reasons why I sort of navigate this. There's a tension for me, right? Between wanting to be, I'm cautious. I never say she going to win it in a landslide. I've seen some people saying that. I'm not going to say that. I'm
Right.
not going to say, oh, I don't know if she going to make it. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to put no negativity into the universe. But I am mindful. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm demure with how I'm
Yeah.
approaching this because I don't want people to feel as though they have the ability to go to sleep or to feel confident that she's got it in the bag, because I know a whole lot of people who thought Hillary Clinton had it in the bag. And I really know a lot of people who were stunned to see that the orange
Yeah.
person won that race, even though some of us were saying that he could. So this is a moment where we need as many people. Don't get dissuaded or feel at ease because you're seeing all the reports of early vote numbers. There's still so much left on the line.
I say don't leave any cousin, any stone unturned. We
Mm,
all have that cousin, that neighbor, that friend from high school who's just like, I don't vote. You've early voted. I know people who are listening to Lurie Daniel favorite show probably have already early voted, right? But not taking your foot off the gas means really gathering those nieces and nephews,
that's right.
gathering those cousins, and people who are in many ways very rightfully just disillusioned and disappointed,
Mm,
right, in the systems that we
big
have for government here, as
yeah.
we all are, right?
Yeah.
But we have to make sure that they understand what's at stake, tell them the family stories. A lot of times people don't know the family stories about what happened to mom and them and what it was like before women could have their own credit cards and loans,
Mm.
or when you couldn't have access to abortion. Tell those stories and get our family members out before Tuesday.
That's right. That's right. And I want to go back to that point you made about they're not the party of life and the Department of Life. And one of the things that I've been looking at in Project 2025 and in the writings is this concept of personhood. Right, so one of the reasons why they don't have to use words like abortion ban in Project 2025 is because they plan on giving the fetus, that clump of cells, equal rights to the human being that's carrying the clump of cells. So I don't
Mhm.
have to talk about a nationwide abortion ban in my Department of Life, reorganizing of the Department of Health. In my Department of Life, if a fetus has personhood rights, and if we're going to treat that clump of cells the way we do human beings, well, abortion is a non-mother effing factor, to quote Eva. Is it Eve Gonzalez, the girl from Basketball Wives? I always mess up her name, and it is so not intentional. But I'd be like, is it Eve Longoria? And that's not. I don't know. It's the sister who
Right.
said you a non-motherfucking factor. Like her, when she said that, abortion becomes a non-motherfucking factor, because if the fetus is a human being, abortion is murder under those
Look, they
legal
spell it out.
definitions.
The Department of Life would
Come on.
establish the mission as
Mm.
furthering the health and well-being of all Americans from conception.
Wow.
Okay? When
Wow.
it's just one cell, when it's just the
Woo.
two cells from
Mm.
that moment,
Mm.
right? And so we know what happens when I'm telling you that there is a person's rights of two cells inside of your body that's going to be inside of your body for 40 weeks.
That's
I
right.
own your body then,
That's
right?
right.
I'm the state, and your body now is regulated by me. We
Mm.
know what that means.
We really do. Oh, and thank you to the team. It's Evelyn Lozada. I gotta remember that. I feel like I should just paste that somewhere because I quote her way too much to be screwing up that sister's name. I don't mean to be disrespectful about it at all. But you're absolutely right. And that to
Yeah.
me, Monifa, we sometimes jokingly will hear people say, well, in the hierarchy of America, you got white men, white women, all the other minority demographics, and black men, black women. But if we were to reorganize the hierarchy in America under a Project 2025, it would be clump of cells. But no, it'd be white men, then clump of cells, then white woman, all the other demographics, black men, white women, well, black woman. And so what we're thinking about, like, what is at stake and what is at risk, that is what's at stake and is at risk. I don't know where parents were going to send their children if there's no longer a Department of Education. And we kind of saw a glimpse of the value of the education system, such as it is, during the pandemic. When people were like, wait a minute, what you mean ain't no teachers gonna teach? Who gonna watch these kids? Because a whole lot of us only knew our morning children and our evening children. We didn't know our school day children. And seeing our school day children and meeting them when they were home all day because the teachers couldn't teach, that was a real reminder that teachers should be paid billions of dollars a week for what it is that they do. And so where are we gonna put our children if there's no Department of Education? Where are we going to go to get access to health care if we don't have a Department of Health and Services that is designed for our actual health? ProPublica has a new article out today talking about another woman who was pregnant, wanted the pregnancy, has a miscarriage at 17 weeks, and she's not able to get the DNC that she needs. I believe she was in the state of Texas. She's dead now. She's already a mother. She wanted to provide a sibling for her child. She and her husband, loving family, wanted to expand their family, and she's now dead because the medical professionals thought it would be considered a crime if they helped her complete this process, which was already happening. This is a non-viable pregnancy. There was no hope that this pregnancy was going to be able
That's
to
right.
mature. But in a state where the state owns those clump of cells, they literally own your body. All of that is on the
Absolutely.
line.
Absolutely. And that is put above your life. In
Mm,
Idaho, I may have mentioned it before, the doctors were afraid and they put a woman on a plane to another state because they knew she was going to die there.
right.
So they were like, we can't help you. That's against the law. We don't want you to die here.
Mm,
They put her on a plane in
mm,
critical condition to another state. These are the types of stories that are going to continue to
right.
come out. And this is what is happening at the ballot box. Will
Mm,
it solve everything? No, y'all.
no.
We still got to organize and fight for so many critical things. Absolutely, positively not. If I take you and you vote on November 5th, will it solve all the things? But
Mm,
what we're telling you, right, is that it's going to put us in a better position to continue to fight for all those other things.
that's right.
And that's the piece that we have to keep telling folks.